We are 3 days out from when the arbitration period officially starts. I expect to see more and more contracts getting signed this week, into next week, and having more news videos of this nature where I'm cobbling this stuff together. And so I'm cobbling it together now. It's 11:09 a.m. my time. We'll see if more stuff comes out during the afternoon, like yesterday, where we got that decent deal between Ottawa and Chicago. At least very interesting, which has me thinking, we need to take a look at Ottawa's roster and see just where they're at. But for now, news of the day kind of thing. Ryan Donato gets a 2-year, $3.8 million deal, so $1.9 million per. I like Donato a lot. I wish him only the best in Minnesota. Connor Carrick gets a $3 million deal for 2 years as well, $1.5 million per. Carrick's a decent number 6 option. And for the Devils, they maintain their depth on the blue line while adding to it with Subban. A lot of excitement involving the Devils. And I'd be right there too if their goaltending didn't scare me. If I didn't look at their goaltending with Blackwood and Schneider and say, I don't know that either one of these guys is going to do it. Because Schneider, of course, went over a year in between wins. I love Corey Schneider. Don't get me wrong. Love Corey Schneider. I want to see that comeback story. I just can't bank on it. Cal Peterson signs a 3-year deal that I saw and I went, wow. $2.5 million overall, $858,000 per year. So Peterson showed last year to me anyways. I thought that he was ready. He played the game in Vegas that we were front row for, and I got a good look at his game in the first and third period. And I got to say, the kid to me, just technically sound, smart goaltender. They won that game. And I like his. There's a lot to like in his game. I'm very surprised that he signed a 3-year extension for that little. So the Kings get themselves a huge bargain. I still think Quick's going to end up being on the market, if not Campbell, because I think Peterson's ready. So I think we're going to see him at the NHL level. I would think this year, at some point, they have to go to Peterson. The Kings are a team that's up against the cap. They are not expected to be very good. Therefore, I would expect veteran players to get moved out who would have some value, and there's still some value to Quick. He is not as great as he was 2, 3, 4 years ago, but he still has some value, and there's still teams that would definitely take a shot at him. For instance, New Jersey comes to mind. So just throwing those two together, just saying, hey. Jake Bischoff gets a 3-year, $2.1 million contract, so league minimum for him. He may very well get some time with Vegas this year. When you look at their depth on the blue line, he may very well get a call-up or two, but he doesn't project to become a regular NHL defenseman at this point in time. Luke Schenn, and this has kind of come out like it's news, he chose Tampa Bay over Vancouver, so the Canucks made an offer for Schenn as well, and likely league minimum, same that he signed for in Tampa. It may have even been more. But he chose Tampa because he feels like he wants a shot at going for a Stanley Cup. The interesting part to me is Luke Schenn is far more likely to end up being cut by Tampa than he would have been with Vancouver. You look at the blue lines of the two, I would say that Tampa has the better blue line than Vancouver. I don't think I'm talking out of turn to say so, but Schenn wanted to be in the Tampa Bay organization, and I really can't blame him for that. One thing with Vancouver and what they've done in this offseason, people need to realize not everybody's going to want to come to Vancouver, and it's not going to be an attractive place for unrestricted free agents to sign for the most part, because a lot of unrestricted free agents are looking to win, looking for a championship level roster. So if they sign in Vancouver, either Vancouver offered more money, or they want an opportunity to get more ice time than they would get somewhere else. So that does lead to some interesting signings that take place. And so Schenn is chosen Tampa. And I honestly, if he plays as well for Tampa as he did for Vancouver down the stretch, I think people are going to be surprised by him. Chris Stewart signs a pro tryout contract, so PTO, professional tryout, with the Philadelphia Flyers. He spent the last 3 years in the British League and had, I think, 13 points in 23 games last season. I don't think he makes it. I'm going to be completely blunt. I don't think Chris Stewart's going to make the roster. But the other thing that's unusual, it seems like it's really early to be announcing who's going to get a tryout, doesn't it? Tryout contracts normally get announced in September, so this is kind of an odd one to put out there now. But Chris Stewart's going to take a shot at getting an NHL job back, And if he's able to play that physical, abrasive style, he may very well earn himself a job. That being said, he did struggle the last time he was in the NHL. He's been gone for 3 years. We'll see how he is now. Ryan Spooner has signed with Lugano in the Swiss League. So Spooner is out of the National Hockey League. And that's how quickly this can happen. Last year at the trade deadline, Spooner gets moved by the Boston Bruins to the New York Rangers. In part of the deal for Rick Nash, which everybody right away said the Bruins are overpaying for Nash. Spooner's as good as Nash 1-for-1. This is ridiculous. And I remember as a Bruins fan saying, yeah, Spooner's not Nash. Spooner put up decent totals with the Rangers after that deadline trade, which made people think even more of Spooner. And then it just didn't work this year. He goes to Edmonton. He ends up in Vancouver, and Vancouver buys him out. Now he's playing in the Swiss League. And that's how quickly this can happen, where you go from, hey, that's a pretty good value guy, to and out of the league. And we'll see who ends up doing that this year, because it seems like every year we see a veteran or two that just ends up out of the NHL. This might be one of those situations where you can look and say the salary cap causes this situation, where a guy who might get a contract somewhere else, a team that's looking at their salary cap situation might say, well, we would offer Ryan Spooner something just to see if he might bring something to our team, but we're already capped out. So this might be one of those things, and every now and then the NHLPA will make rumblings about that some veterans get squeezed out. But that's the economics of the game. It's been that way since 2005 when the cap came in, and I don't see it changing anytime soon. Let me know how you guys feel about any of these headlines for today. And to me, Peterson is the steal, thus the Kings jersey and hat. I'm big on the kid, and I think he's going to surprise some people this year. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video, and hey, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.